What's happening, YouTube? Ryan here for Tricrow Studios, and today I'm going to show you how to connect a Lunchbox with your audio interface. Now I'm going to show you how I do it, so I'm going to also filter in two external microphone preamps and an XLR Patchbay using DB25 cables. Now this is to save space behind your setup, so if you have to crawl under a desk or under a rack or behind it, it makes it a million times easier. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, if you've just stumbled upon this video because you subscribed to our channel, I first want to thank you. But if you're not sure what an API Lunchbox or any type of lunchbox like workhorses or whatever, it's pretty much a chassis for 6 500 series modules. So each module slides into one of the 6 slots on the Lunchbox, and the Lunchbox actually powers the modules. So this actually makes certain things like microphone preamps, compressors, and EQs a little cheaper, and they're also a little easier to organize in your studio setup because they're not huge. So that is, in a nutshell, what this is. One of the benefits of the Lunchbox is that it has 2 pass-throughs, so you can actually connect 2 microphone preamps or 2 compressors or 2 EQs or what have you in through the Lunchbox, and you can use the outputs on the Lunchbox to send it to your audio interface. Now this is where it can get a little confusing. Up top we have 2 UA710 Twinfinity microphone preamps. So you're going to look at the line outputs, line inputs, mic inputs, everything there. That we're going to look at very shortly. But at the bottom you're going to see a whole bunch of outputs and something that looks like a computer slot there, and same with the inputs and another thing that kind of looks like an old computer slot. These are the outputs. So you can actually connect individual XLR cables and connect them into your audio interface or connect them into individual microphones or what have you. This can get very confusing, and as well it can get kind of impossible when it comes to cable management. That's why I'm going to show you how to use DB25 cables. Okay, to actually get started now, I want to connect the microphone preamps into the Lunchbox. So this is where it's going to seem a little odd because we're connecting output to output. So on the microphone preamps, you're going to connect an XLR cable from the line output into the output of channel 8 and channel 7 on the Lunchbox. This is a pass-through, so you're not actually connecting an output to an output. It is actually an output into an input. It just seems a little odd. So let's go ahead and connect both. Next up, we're going to connect 2 XLR cables from our mic inputs into the inputs on channel 8 and channel 7 of the Lunchbox. Now make sure that they are in the same inputs there as they are in above, because that'll get really confusing. So whatever one you had at channel 8, have it at channel 8 on the output and the input, and whatever preamp you had on 7, same deal. Alright, so now that we've connected our 2 external preamps into the Lunchbox into the pass-through, we're going to use a DB25 cable to female XLR. So what this does here, it uses 1 cable with 8 individual ends on it, so we're actually saving space. So let's go ahead and connect the DB25 to the input, and then each of these individual XLRs are going to go into our XLR Patchbay. Okay, so here's the back of our XLR Patchbay. Now this is going to carry through any phantom power that you have set up. That's why we're using an XLR Patchbay rather than a regular Patchbay. So we're going to connect each individual one of our female XLRs from 1 to 8, and they are numbered, into the male XLR connectors on your Patchbay. These are also numbered. So to make it easier on you, let's make sure that each individual input is set to the corresponding number. So 1 is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 3, 4 is 4, and so on. Alright, so here's the front of our XLR Patchbay. You can see in the back all of the colored cables there. So this actually makes it a lot cleaner for your workstation as well. So you can, if you're only using 1 input at a time, you don't have to have a whole bunch of XLR cables hanging out so you can connect them to microphones. And this actually can extend your reach of your XLR cable, as it's not coming from the back of your setup to the front. You can just plug them into whatever input you want. Now that we have the input section connected, we want to look at the output section. So this, we're going to use, again, DB25 cables, but this time to TRS jacks, so those are balanced outputs. You're going to connect the DB25 into the output, and then we're going to go and connect each one of those 8 into your audio interface. Okay, last but not least in this semi-complicated setup is connecting those TRS inputs into the line inputs on the back of your audio interface. Now we're going to still keep them numbered, so line in 1 is the output number 1 from the Lunchbox, and 2, 3, 4, 5, all those in number. That way it's easier for you when it comes time to record from certain inputs, so you aren't playing a guessing game. You don't have to have a diagram. And that's it. That's really the whole setup. It kind of seems a little complicated when you're looking from the outside in, but when you're actually connecting it yourself, you're going to love it. You're going to actually love the fact that there's less cable management that you have to do. There's less confusion with microphone cables hanging out all over the place, and you're going to be less concerned whether or not they're long enough to get to where they need to go. So, I hope some of you didn't have to call in old Doc Brown to kind of figure things out, but this is the way I set up my Lunchbox, and I hope that you found that it's beneficial to you. So that is it for the video. I've kind of rambled on enough, but I hope you liked the video. Shoot a comment there. And as well, I hope you subscribe to TriCrow Studios. Lots of more videos coming up like this one.